Hi everyone, welcome to part 5 of the Millenium Falcon painting tutorial. We've let our last steps dry for a few days now, so we can move on to streaking and a little more defined rust in some areas. And I'll show you guys how that works. I've got 3 colors of oil paint today. I've got, of course, Starship Filth, Light Rust Brown, and Dark Rust, all by 502 Abteilung. I've got my odorless terpenoid. You can know it's a little cloudy. I've been using it today. Couple fine brushes, a large soft flat brush, and a smaller flat brush just lightly dampened with the terpenoid. So what I'm going to do, lightly dampen this, and I'm going to brush it very lightly. Don't slop it on. Just over the areas that I'm going to be streaking. This is why we let it dry for a few days. If we didn't, all that would have been lifted up. Now I'm not going to take a slurry, but I am going to thin the oil paint a bit. And using one of the fine brushes, I'm going to start painting some streaks here. And notice I'm going up, because this is the underside of the craft, so gravity would make the streaks flow this way based on the curvature. And I'm adding some streaks. You could add some wider ones if you need to. Then I'm going to take the other fine brush, take some of the dark rust, and I'll paint some rusty streaks. Just a few. Alright, I'll put one over here, and one right here, going all the way to that. Alright, so we let that dry for a second or two till the sheen just starts to go away. Sometimes it helps to blow on it. And now we're going to take the wider brush, the flat brush, completely dry, no thinner, and we're going to start brushing back and forth, and this is going to blend the streaks in. And just, kind of whip it over the surface here, lightly brushing the surface. You can blend away anything that gets messed up. You could also take the brush with a little bit of thinner, and if your streak is too wide, you don't like it, you can blend it away. That's the great part about oil paints. I could take that whole streak away right now. In fact, I'm going to take this one away right here, this little edge of it, so it looks like it starts there and flows downward. I'll take my brush and I'll blend that a little more. Whoops, blended it mostly away. Wasn't intentional, but it works. You could just blend the edges, blend the ends, and that's it. You got some nice subtle streaking. What you don't want to do is use black paint in really thick streaks and, go to town with it. That worked well for a 30-year-old studio model for the cameras of the day and for what they were doing. But for something you're looking at in person with the naked eye, you want to be a little more subtle about it. Alright, next we're going to do some more defined rust, and mostly this is going to be applied in areas such as these little engine areas and along the edges. I'm going to take a little bit of thinner and make a thin slurry, thick slurry, medium, thick, thin, whatever, as much as you need. And I'm going to just kind of dab it. See, that's too thin, it's not going on thick enough. I'm going to dab it in the areas here. Now it's too thick, but that's great about oil paint. You can, mess with it, wash it away if it's not right. And I'm applying that in there. You want a little bit of a stippling. You want it to be uneven because it's rust. Rust isn't exactly, even. It's got texture. It's got different colors in it. Now I'm going to take some of the dark rust and I'm going to apply that over the light rust color. Just in a few areas here. Some places you might want a little bit more. Stipple that in there. And then you could take some thinner and you could feather this out. Blend it out a little bit, clean up any areas where you didn't necessarily want rust, and make sure you don't have any giant glops. Once that dries, it's gonna the color will change slightly as it dries. So as the sheen goes away, you'll see what it's going to look like at the end. And if you don't like it, you could take your brush and you can with some more thinner and you could wipe it all away. It's very easy to do. And I'll do that in the other engine areas around the outside. And that's pretty much that. Next, update is going to be pigments. And if you noticed, I'm doing a lot of my rust and streaks and stuff without pigments. I'm doing these with oil paints because they're very easy to control, very easy to clean up. Pigments, they can go on very heavy, very fast, and be very, very hard to remove. So you might end up screwing up your model or darkening it too much. That's why I save them to the end. And when I apply them, I'm going to apply them very, very lightly. But that's next time. For now, I'm going to finish the streaks over the rest of the model, let this dry, and I'll see you next time. Happy modeling.